Let's see. Fundamental processes of erosion, hydraulic action, force of fast moving water. Okay, force of fast moving water which actually dislodge the material from bed and bank, and air compression in cracks help to break these set of rocks which are there. So this is what the hydraulic action. Similarly, abrasion. I told you abrasion, and you might use this word corrosion. So the literal meaning of corrosion is this, that the medium itself and the material which is suspended in the medium both will cause what? Removal. So when we have this kind of aspect, that will be called as what? Corrosion. Okay, that will be called as what? Corrosion or abrasion, you can say. So when the river load is there, means in the water, we also have what? Either sand or pebbles or boulders or scraps. If it is there, means the bigger size of boulder or any other scraps which are there, they will going to grind, they will going to grind the channel, they will going to remove the material. That will be called as what? Abrasion. I told you abrasion is like sandpaper. Okay, that will going to smoothen the bed, and it is because of these rocks, small rocks which are there. When the rocks will going to collide with the surface, that will lead to the formation of potholes. So potholes will be there. So whenever you see potholes, that means what? That potholes are not actually the result of water, but they are actually the result or the combined result of water and the load which is there with the water and the load in terms of stones, in terms of pebbles which is there in the water. When both will going to collide with the slope, as a result of that, removal will be there, and that removal will be termed as what? Abrasion. Okay, I hope you can relate abrasion. So water and rocks both will what? Both will lead to the removal of this particular riverbed. Abrasion. Attrition. Attrition means when the rocks, those who are carried by water, they will going to collide with each other. The rocks which are actually carried by the water, they will going to collide with each other. So when these rocks, only rocks, when they are in the mobile medium, water, they will going to collide with each other. They're going to knock against each other. As a result of that, they're going to break into smaller parts. And when it will going to break into the smaller parts, they will become more round and they will become more finer. They will become more smaller from their original size. So when they become more rounded, more smaller, that process through which it is happening is known as attrition. All right, now I hope you have a clarity with respect to the different aspect or different ways in which erosion could occur. Now let's see that when the running water is there, and because of the varied erosion and deposition degree, what kind of slope and what kind of topographical modification will be occur, and what name would be given to that particular topographical or slope feature. Let's see. So when we have a river, so the place from which the river is originating, that will be termed as what? Source. And the place where the river is discharging its water in lake, sorry, not in lake but in ocean, when river will discharge its water in ocean, in lakes will also correct, it is not wrong. If there is a lake, that will also called as what? Mouth of that particular river. So when the river is discharging its water into a large water body, that will be termed as what? Mouth. So this is the mouth of river, this is what? The source of river. Clear? Now when we have a source, so where rivers will be originated? Rivers will be originated on the mountain slopes, on the, we can say, steeper slopes. So wherever you see steeper slopes, comparatively, I hope you can understand this aspect, that in geography, when we used to compare the things, we used to compare the things based on the same parameter. Largest water body, what? Marine, fresh water, or let's say hard water. So the reference should be there. Okay, without reference in geography, it would be not appropriate to have a reference that okay, this is what the highest, this is what the lowest. You must stick to this first thing. When I say steeper, when I say gentle, so gentle means almost level field. Almost what? Level field. This could be called as what? Plain. This could be called as what? Plains. This could be gentle. This could be gentle slope. This could be steeper slope. Now you are saying these steeper slopes with respect to this gentle when you compare it. When you compare level plains with gentle and when you compare these level plains with respect to the steeper, that how topography is arranged. Here the topography is vertical, simple. That's why we are talking in terms of steeper slopes. Suppose if you have a slope like this, so you will say these are the steepest slope. Now the reference is steeper slopes. Suppose if you have these kind of slopes, so you will say that these are the gentlest slope. So this reference of gentle, this reference of what? Steeper is actually taken as a reference with respect to the other set of slope from which we are actually comparing. From which we are actually comparing. All right. So usually when we have a slope like this, from steeper slopes, there will be a what? There will be a origin or there will be a source. This is also being called as origin. Origin of river. Then we could have some sort of steeper slopes where river will have this kind of action. And then we will have a gentle slope. We'll have what? Gentle slope. So whenever we have these steep slopes, so from these steep slope, which is there, water which is there. Now this water will going to move. And yes, with this water, what we can say that there is a more influence of gravity. With this water, what we can say that there will be a more influence of gravity. And it is because of the steeper slopes. It is because of what? Steeper slope. In other words, there is some sort of height. And when the gravity and height used to interact, they're going to add some sort of kinetic energy. I'm not adding science aspect here, but I'm just trying to building up a logical explanation to it. So what we can say that it is because of the kinetic energy of water, which is greater than that of gravity, the kinetic energy which is greater than that of gravity, where on these steeper slopes. So because of this aspect, what will happen? There is a significant vertical downcutting. There is significant vertical downcutting. Okay, there is significant vertical downcutting. So if the surface is like this, so that surface will going to be downcut. Vertical downcutting will be there. It's because of the flow of water. So the vertical downcutting will be prominent in this particular uh, stage where you will see steeper slopes. So this particular stage where you have a steeper slopes will be termed as what? Upper course of river. That will be termed as what? Upper course of river. And the same is being known as youthful stage. The same is being known as what? Youthful stage of river. When you are youthful, you will say, I'll going to do this, I'll going to do this, I'll going to do this, I'll going to clear this exam. When I'll be, bureaucrat, I'll going to serve the society, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So why? Because you are youthful. When you are youthful, you will have a more action. So here the water will also have a more action. Here the water will have a more action because of the steepness in the slope. This steepness in slope will added with the gravity, and that's how the more removal will be done. Which kind of removal? Vertical downcutting will be prominent. So here you will see whenever we have this upper course of river. So here you will see we have a steep V-shaped valleys. Here you will see narrow river channel. The length, or let's say you can say the length of